Hello class. This is our first studio. It is the introduction to origami. So again, covering the basic information for the cycle. Our content is conception. The who we are talking about are the samurai, the warrior class during Edo, Japan. The what we are talking about is origami. That's what you're making. And we are focusing mostly on noshi, which is origami that is made as gifts or for decoration. Where we're at is Japan. The time period that we're focusing on is the Edo period, around 1600 to 1880. And the why, the crane is folded for a sacrifice and wish if you have 1,000 of them. And that is linked to samurai and their wanting to have a firstborn male child. And origami itself is folded paper. Over on the right here, you see one of the dragons from one of the origami masters. This is all folded. There's no cutting. There's no gluing. So what origami is, it was invented during the Edo period of Japan, and it's the art of creating objects through folding paper. It was one of the art forms of the samurai that they could pursue and be tested on by the daimyo and shogun. And a lot of them chose it because it was portable. And in the illustration, which is Edo period illustration from Japan, you see two women folding cranes. There are different types of origami. The noshi is for good luck or sacrifices or gifts. It can also be used for decoration. Sasumi is formal aesthetic origami. That's things like the dragon that you saw at the beginning, where it is complicated and there's a set way of doing things and it needs to be perfect. Orisu is for entertainment. That would be creating things that can be used for games. You might have made one of the flippy fortune tellers a long time ago, or folded a football, quote unquote, the little triangle fold thing that you kick around. Siki is technical origami, and we will explore more of that later. Educational is for teaching mathematics and processes. They use origami a lot in Japan as part of their mainstream education. And very small kids learn geometry and fractions with origami as you fold from a square to a triangle to so on and so forth. And then for counting fractions when you unfold things. And then for food wrappings. Over on the right here, we see one of the happy little Yawas from Star Wars. These are some food origami things that you have probably encountered before. Wontons, dumplings, buns, those are all a type of origami that's made from the dough that's folded around the food, as are egg rolls and spring rolls. Fortune cookies, which is a rare circular origami fold. Down here at the bottom, you see some chocolate origamis. If chocolate is tempered right and has a lot of the wax and things in it to make it bendable, it can be poured very thin and then folded into origami shapes. And then, while this is mostly sashimi, the sushi and forms of sushi where the seaweed is rolled or folded around the ingredients are origami as well. So traditional practices for origami is washi paper is what you use, and that's what I've provided for you. It is a strong, thin paper. It's made from rice fibers. You'll notice that some of the paper in your package feels a little bit different. There's some that is very thin, some that is medium thin, and some that is thicker. Traditional origami always starts with the square, and traditional forms are always folded using only one piece of paper. The size of your piece of paper depends upon the size that you end up with. So the smaller the paper, the smaller the origami. If you're folding something super complicated like that dragon or even the Jedi Jawa, you need a pretty big piece of paper in order to get all those folds in there. So Studio Basics, before you start folding, remember that you use one piece of paper for now. Fold on a flat surface. Don't fold up in the air, fold on a table. Make sure the edges line up correctly and that you're folding things straight. And then crease your folds, push down on them once it's folded so that it's very sharp, and follow the directions carefully. Sometimes you have to fold something and then unfold it, and that's not just making you work extra, it's actually creates kind of a place in the paper where it can bend to do things like turn inside out, and it's an important step that you can't miss. So today we're going to do 2 folds. These are very easy beginning folds. Some of you might know how to do these already. That's fine. And the purpose is they teach you 2 of the key techniques for making origami. So you're going to learn how to create a pocket fold with a cup and a squash fold, which is the organ. So your assignment for today, you need your Chromebook, you need origami paper, and I have 2 tutorials linked in Classroom, one for the cup and one for the organ. They don't have very many words. It's mostly pictures. Just look at the pictures and do what it is in the pictures, step by step. I will also link some videos. And of course, when you're in class, I will be demonstrating for you live. Complete both of those forms. This takes more than 1 attempt. I would like for you to make things at least 3 times. That way you get it really down as far as how to make it. And then choose your best cup and organ or all of them and photograph them and upload them. You can put them together and kind of take one picture of all of them if it'll fit, or you could take 2. Now, a challenge would be is to see how small you can make these forms. So how you would do that is you need to reduce the size of your paper. So you take your square paper, fold it into quarters. So fold it in half, then fold it in half again, and unfold it, cut it into a smaller square, fold with that square, and then you can keep cutting squares into 4s in order to make it smaller and smaller. Okay? So let's move to the tutorials.